The finalists in the men's vault competition. Top in qualification, Wang Mingqi of the People's Republic of China, who has competed at World Championship level as a vault specialist. He'll go third in the order. We'll also keep a very close eye on Nazar Cheperny of Ukraine, who was 1,000th of a mark behind Wang in qualification. Cheperny, a World Championship medalist on vault. The women's balance beam competition. And it's going to be a very interesting competition actually to scrutinise, because the top performer in qualification was Nakamura Haruka, and she will go first. And the second best performer was Greta Moyer of Hungary. She'll go second, so we'll have a very interesting idea of things after the first couple have gone. Let's have the formal introductions. Very familiar faces and some newcomers as well. Good luck to all of them across the women's and men's competitions in Baku as we get set to begin. Welcome back to those of you who've been watching a lot of World Cup competition over the years, and welcome to those of you who are new to the World Cup circuit. It might be that you particularly enjoy the gymnastics at the Olympic Games, as most of the world's population does, and have decided now to get into the regular season. This is part of a series of World Cup competitions that take place across the year. There are also World Challenge Cup events that are much of a muchness. I won't go too much into the difference between World Cup and World Challenge Cup, because they ultimately adhere to exactly the same system, which is 5 apparatus finals on one day and 5 on the next. For the most part, there are a couple of events that have all of the finals on one day. But it's one of the very interesting features of these World Cup competitions, because we get real apparatus specialists turning up. We get people like this gentleman, Wang Mingqi, the 27-year-old from the Guangxi Autonomous Region, borders Vietnam. And some of you may know it from years gone by because its capital city, Nanning, hosted the 2014 World Championships. Guang actually means vast or expansive. And it'll be lovely to see the gentleman from China who's competing at his first World Cup event since 2018. Savrambashi having a warm-up there on the balance beam, somebody who has been a World Cup champion on the uneven bars. And what a privilege for us to enjoy at this World Cup an Olympian, fantastic gymnast in Kishirina, who competed in Paris and made 3 finals on the floor with the team and in the all-around competition. Very close to being in the top 10 in the all-around. So the split warm-up system is in operation. That means, as I'm sure many of you know, that the first 4 gymnasts will warm up, then compete, and then the next 4 gymnasts. Great to see the next generation of Japanese gymnasts coming through. A relatively new senior, Nakamura Haruka competed at the Olympiad. Good hold. Did really well to stay on there. She was the top qualifier with a score of 13.6. There's lots of difficulty, bags of it in this routine. That's a loss of stability coming out of the wolf turns. Certainly hand-made contact with the apparatus. Saitsomi was good. Nicely controlled free walkover as well. There's a real sense of purpose and fluidity to this performance from Nakamura Haruka. Oh, nice twisting work as well to conclude. I still cannot quite believe that she managed to hold on at the beginning. Difficult mount sequence. We'll come back to that in due course. Now over we go to the men's vault competition. Benno Kunst of Slovenia, fourth best in qualifying, 13.866. And he starts with a corker of a Roche vault. Wow. Well, that wasn't half bad. Now, for those of you who are just jumping back into gymnastics now and want a bit of an update on the code of points, here's where it's particularly prescient. All men's vaults have had their difficulty score reduced by 0.4 of a mark. So this Roche vault stuck tremendously. Used to be a 5.2 difficulty, it's now a 4.8 difficulty. That wasn't just a Roche, that was a rip-roaring Roche. It'd be great to see him do well because he has worked very hard to try to get into finals at World Cup level, and he made it 14.166 for that first vault, virtually the same as qualifying. He made it into the final in the Szombathely World Cup in Hungary last year as the top qualifier, finished 8th. It was a really unfortunate moment, but he's a very good young vaulter. Now let's see how this second vault goes. So this is a vault that would have been a 4.8 difficulty to the old code. Yes, handspring front layout with a double twist. Nakamura Haruka, 13.433. She's actually gained difficulty.
Please welcome Greta, Hungary.
This is Greta Meyer of Hungary. Nice save there as she was just slightly skidding offline on the mount. She won the gold medal on beam at the Hungarian Apparatus Championships last year and at the overall national championships earlier in the year. So very good results domestically on this apparatus. Very nice double pike to conclude that. So Benno Kunst, 13.833. Actually the same as qualification. And we go to the local gymnast, Murad Agarzaev of Azerbaijan. And he's well off, unfortunately, on his roche. Real contrast to what we saw from Benno Kunst. Six-year-old. He grew up in Sumkayit, which is Azerbaijan's second largest city. It's about 30 kilometers north of Baku, but he's one of the gymnasts who trains at the Ochak Sports Club, which is very much based around here. .433. That was better, wasn't it? Second vault from Agarzaev. 13.133 for Greta Moyer, way up from qualification. She goes into second place. Nazli Savrambashi. That's decently. She was the 7th best performer in qualification with a score of 12. It's a shame. It's difficult to keep the stability. Smooth and relatively simple dismount from the Olympian from Tokyo. Agarzaev, 12.799 is his average. If we go back to the second vault of Benno Kunst and make a correction there, he was indicating a vault number 1.15, which is a handspring front layout with double twist. He actually got a 4.4 because it was 1.5 twist that he performed. I said it was a double because that's what he was indicating on the board, so must have made the decision to play that safer. And, a smart move because it's resulted in a good score. indeed that is what he chose to do in qualification as well. So he's obviously thinking about going for that double at some point when the conditions are right. This is Wang Mingqi. Oh, there was so much amplitude in that performance. Lovely straight body position as well. Now we expect his difficulty to be the highest of anyone. Astonishing degree of amplitude. Gives him plenty of time to get the body around in the twist position. So that's a Yang Hakson vault. Handspring front and a triple twist. .766. Not a vault that one sees a huge amount, to be perfectly honest. It's pretty lovely when you do see it done like that. Yang did it to win a couple of world titles just over a decade ago. Gymnast from the Republic of Korea. Was a lovely one for those of you who like to play obscure vault bingo. You know who you are. Let's have a look at his second vault. We anticipate this being not quite as complicated. I say not quite as complicated. It's still a belter of a vault. Nasli Savrambashi, 10.7 her score. Unfortunately is quite a drop from qualification. Now to Kishi Rina. 12.6 in qualifying, the fourth best. There's nice stability in those wolf turns. Well to stabilise after getting quite a bit of height. Nice control in the side somersault. It's amazing to think this is actually her World Cup debut. She's competed at the World Championships and competed at the Olympic Games. So it's lovely to see her competing here. A really important all-around performer for the Japanese. Oh, she was very low coming down at the double pike, but stabilised it. 14.066 for the second vault, 14.416. Yes, that was indeed a triple twisting Yurchenko vault. I wanted to be certain that I'd seen the three twists there because it was so quickly done. So we've just seen a Yang and a triple Yurchenko from that gentleman, Wang Mingqi. That's extraordinary. Here's Eddie Penev from Bulgaria. Yes, that was very nice. That's a shoe felt. Four-year-old, very experienced. Done some lovely vaulting over the course of his career. He's won 7 World Cup medals. Very well performed, that Shufelt vault. That's the 2.5 twisting Yurchenko. Just we contrast that with what we saw from Huang, which was the triple twisting Yurchenko, associated with the likes of Shirai Kenzo and Kim Hee-hoon. So it will be 4/10 lower in its difficulty evaluation. There we go. 14 for Penev. Nice execution score, 9.2. Got ourselves a really enjoyable men's vault final here. Yes, that is a thoroughly impressive performance from Penev. 12.866. Kishi goes into the bronze medal position. Now we're in the warm-up process for the second half. Well, I hope you're enjoying this vault and women's beam competition so far. Eddie Penev goes into the bronze medal position, 13.65. So we have Huang, then Benno Kunz, then Eddie Penev, occupying first, second and third in the men's vault. And it's an absolute joy to see this gymnast. Angel Wong of Hong Kong, China, 37, competed at the Olympiad in London in 2012. Very fine performer on balance beam as well. It's a luxury to get to watch her compete on the apparatus. She's got a very fine style. And then we're going to see somebody who is 22 years younger afterwards in Chu Yuming, a new senior. We move on then to the second half of this vault and balance beam competition. Young gymnast from Turkey, Bengüsü Yıldız, was the 8th best in qualification with a score of 11.966. She's been a medalist on the beam at the Islamic Solidarity Games and had a lovely end to her season last year, winning the Turkish title in all-around gymnastics as well as on the beam and on the floor. So really quite splendid. Oh yes, lovely acrobatic sequence. The aerial nicely performed as well. Slight oscillation on the horizontal, but stability well demonstrated in the wolf turns. Free walkover, no problems there either. In terms of the mechanics of this display, it's very secure looking. Even moments like that can be so easy for the gymnast to lose their equilibrium. Minor adjustment there. She was struggling to be fully round on that landing. Just a slightly sideways position, but that was a commanding performance for the most part from the teenager Angus Yildiz. Looked like she was very comfortable. Now this is going to be really interesting because we're going to see a silver medalist from the Youth Olympic Games on vault and a World Championship medalist from 2023. He then went on to the European Championships to win a medal. Nazar Ciperni. We expect he will give away 4/10 of a mark in difficulty by comparison to Wang Mingqi. If he executes with the clarity that he can, then it could be a very competitive final. Dragulescu to begin. The Roche vault with that half twist of the body to add 4/10 of difficulty. Lots of good height. Small landing adjustment, minor deduction to be taken there. That's a good display. Now that certainly puts him in line to at least get second position on the leaderboard. The execution of vault number 2 is going to need to be really crackerjack in order for him to challenge Wang Mingqi. I imagine from an execution standpoint this ought to do rather well. 14.5 and 9.3 for execution. So that is 0.266 lower than the score for Huang, but Huang had an extra 4/10 of difficulty. So he's made up a lot of ground when it comes to execution. We now expect his second vault will be the same difficulty score as Huang in qualifying. Oh, very fine. Lopez vault. 12.2 for Yildiz. We now look at Ritu Das. A gymnast from India, unfortunately coming off on the mount. She was the 5th best performer in qualification. Second time that she's competed in a World Cup event. She performed on beam in Cairo last year. Good hold, well done. She's settled nicely into this routine now. That's good too. Some quite unusual work here. It's really memorable and really rather stylish to witness. choreographically, it's nice to watch too. Well, wasn't that enjoyable to witness from Ritu Das of India? He's done it, he's got him. Nazar Chipurni beats Hwang Min-chi into second place. It's the execution that's done it. Despite giving away 4/10 of difficulty, by 0.05 of a mark, he's gone into the gold medal position. That's a very good effort from Chipurni. We go to Dimitar Dimitrov of Bulgaria. He's been a World Cup medalist on vault. That's a good start. He's a little piked. And that Kasamatsu. Actually, it was a handspring front 1.5. That was the same as we saw from Benno Kunst. He was indicating a Kasamatsu 1.5 on the board, which is interesting. So 13.3 for that handspring front 1.5, as we saw from Benno Kunst. Oh, he was really struggling there. Just quite piked and out of bounds too. 10.2 for Ritu Das. Execution 5.6. Now to Angel Wong of Hong Kong, China, the Olympian from 2012. Very nice mount sequence. She actually has her own version of that where there's a half turn added to it. I believe it was actually at the Olympiad in 2012 that she demonstrated it, had it added to the code of points. This is a gymnast who won a silver medal on vault at the Asian Championships back in 2008. She's hugely experienced. She's competed at so many World Cup events of late. Good alignment in the side somersault. Quite getting the legs up to a horizontal position. Good stabilisation at the end as she was very slightly leaning backwards. Unfortunately, an 8.466 execution for the double twisting Yurchenko from Dimitrov, so that's coming down in 5th position. Igor Sharamkov, competing as a neutral athlete. 3rd best in qualifying. 14.183. If he gets that here, he would go into the bronze medal position. It was a little bit wild in terms of the execution at times. Did manage to land it though. Let's just have a look back at this in terms of the flight. It's a bit of separation. It's not the tidiest twisting work, and he's rather jarred as he lands, but it's complicated. That's a very impressive bit of vaulting work. Handspring front layout with 2.5 twists. .933. It's a vault that used to be a 5.6 difficulty, it's now 5.2, with that trend for everything dropping by 4/10. Named after Yo Hongchul. I'm sure there are some of you who remember Atlanta 1996 and Yo winning the silver medal in the vaulting competition. Next from Sharamkov. Dragulescu, that was very smooth looking. Wong is in 5th place, 11.433. Not an enormous difficulty score, but an enjoyable performance to watch. 3rd best qualifier, Chu Yiming of the People's Republic of China, 12.733. Gymnast from Fujian province, last to go in this women's beam competition. Good stabilisation, which she actually makes light of. Some very graceful work in this performance. And some powerful pike work to conclude. Sharamkov's in the bronze medal position, no surprise when you consider those vaults are both 5.2 difficulties, 14.099. Seeing some really compelling vaulting. Now we go to the last performer. Chandrasekhar from India. He's a little out in his alignment as he lands and needs to take some big steps. So quite quite a lot of tenths to come off the execution score because of those adjustments. Still a young competitor, only 22. A sideways lilt as he lands. He's from Talasari in Kerala State. Very famous ancient trading hub for spices. Worth a mention when you think about where this event is, on the Silk Road. Had a very good time at the All India Inter-University Championships last year when he won a bronze medal on vault. Nice to see him in his World Cup debut. It's been a pleasure getting to see some of the new faces on the Indian team at this World Cup. 11.666 for his first vault. It's only a 4.0 for difficulty. Now in qualification he performed his most difficult vault second. Well, he was going for a roche and unfortunately was quite some way from landing it. Chu Yiming goes into the silver medal position. It's a very good performance. 13.266. The classified results in the beam competition: bronze to Greta Moya of Hungary, the silver medal won by Chu Yiming of the People's Republic of China, and gold to Nakamura Haruka of Japan. Some really good quality gymnastics performed on the beam there. And a memorable beam final, even from the gymnasts who finished lower down the leaderboard. Lots to enjoy about their stylistic decisions. Very good watch that. The classified results in the men's vault final: Igor Sharamkov taking the bronze medal, the silver to Huang Mingqi of the People's Republic of China, and gold won by Nazar Cheperny of Ukraine. Very close execution, beating difficulty on this occasion. Victory ceremony in the men's vault competition at the Baku World Cup. Bronze medal won by Igor Sharamkov. With some spectacular vaulting, Huang Mingqi of the People's Republic of China takes second place. But despite having lower difficulty, the execution of Nazar Cheperny of Ukraine strong enough to propel him, figuratively and literally, to the gold medal. We'll now have the national anthem of Ukraine. with the presentations now, and will be the next of 5 victory ceremonies. The victory ceremony of the women's balance beam competition. The bronze medal at Moya of Hungary. Silver won by Chu Yiming of the People's Republic of China. The gold medal to Nakamura Haruka of Japan. There they are, the medalists in the beam competition.